Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to find the gradient of a straight line from its graph. To find the gradient of a straight line from its graph, we need to select 2 points on the straight line that also lie on the corners of these little squares. So let's see how many choices we have on the straight line in part A. So we have the choices that I'm going to put a cross on them in here. So this point lies on the straight line and also on the corner of this, the little square. This point again lies on the straight line and on the corner of the little square. And this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. So for all of these points, we can see that they all lie on the straight line and also on the corners of the little squares. Now we select 2 of these points. Let's say that we select this one and this one. And then we are going to ignore the rest. Once we have a pair of points from our choices, then we make a right angle triangle. Then we measure the height of the triangle. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. And instead of height, I'm going to call it rise because it goes up. And then we measure the horizontal length of the triangle. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. And instead of horizontal length, I'm going to call it run because it goes across. Then I'm going to define the gradient as rise over run. And we can see that from the graph, rise is 3 and run is 3 as well. So the gradient is 3 divided by 3, which is 1. Remember that we had so many selections for our points. So we could have chosen any pair of points on the straight line, and still the gradient would be the same. For the second line in part B, we're going to put crosses on the choices that we have. So remember that the points must be on the straight line and also on the corners of the little squares. So we have a choice of this point, and also this point, this point, this point, this point, this point, and this point. So again, for all of these points, they lie on the straight line and also on the corners of the little squares. Then we select 2 of them. So let's say that we select this one and this one. It doesn't matter. You can choose any pair of points from your choices. So then we ignore the rest and we make our right angle triangle. Then we measure the rise. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the rise. And we measure the run, which is 1, 2, 3, and that's run. Remember that the gradient was rise over run. So rise is 6 and run over is 3. So we get gradient equals 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So the gradient of this line in part B is 2. For the line in part C, we want to select the points on the straight line again that lie on the squares, on the corners of the little squares. So we will have many selections again. So here is one choice, then another one, then another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, and another one. And we have one here as well. So we're going to choose 2 of them randomly. So different people would choose different points from these choices that we have. So remember that the gradient is always the same. It will not change. But like I said, different people might choose different pairs of points. So I'm going to select this one and this one, then ignore the rest. Once we've selected our points, then we make a right angle. We measure the height, which is the rise, so it's 1, 2, 3, and we measure the run, which is again 1, 2, 3. So the gradient is going to be rise, which is 3, over run, which is 3 as well. But there is one important point here. Because the line is going down from left to right, so the line is going down from left to right. It's going down. We have to put a minus for our gradient. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. We have a minus next to it, so the gradient is minus 1. Let's look at the line in part C, in part D. Let's see what choices we have for the points on the straight line and on the corners of the little squares. So we'll have a choice here, then we have a choice here, then we have another choice here, and another choice here. So we have 4 choices of points. We're going to select 2 of them. Any 2 would work. So I'm going to select this one and this one, and ignore the other 2. Then I make a right angle triangle. The rise is going to be 1, 2, 3, and the run is 1. The gradient is going to be rise over run, so 3 over 1, and because the line is going down from left to right, I'm going to put a minus next to my gradient. So 3 divided by 1 is 3, and I have a minus next to it, so it's minus 3. So the gradient in part D is minus 3.